I think this is an interesting story because Sam Altman has come out and basically said that American labs' push to more and more powerful AI models is fundamentally dangerous, and that the frontier AI labs in the United States should slow down, and that they really need more bureaucratic oversight. I think what is curious about Sam Altman and OpenAI coming out and espousing all of this is the fact that Chinaman don't care. Chinaman's like, you want to wrap your artificial intelligence into a hell of a lot of bureaucracy and red tape and government overreach and all of that kind of thing? That sounds wonderful for you. For you, right? This must be amazing to be in China right now. And if you think you're running a race, to look over and watch your competitors basically kneecap each other as you're trotting along, right? You think about that, you go out for a run in one of the races, and you're like, I don't know if I feel like I could win today. I don't know if I feel like if I have enough energy and power to really come in first. And so you're running the race and you're trying to do your best, but you don't really know how it's going to work out. And then you look behind you and basically you see your competitors taking lead pipes, bashing each other in the kneecaps, and then you're like, "Oh, I guess I might win this race after all." This is not too bad. I feel like that is the position that China is currently in. It's not that they are the best and the fastest, and it's obvious that they would win in this particular competition. It's just that the people that they're racing against keep kneecapping themselves. And so basically right now we have Z.ai, so they come out with open source frontier models. One of the things that was interesting earlier in the year is that there was a conversation between the CEO of Z.ai and Elon Musk about when China would get Mythos 5 level AI capabilities, right? So Mythos 5 is Anthropic's most powerful model, right? More dangerous than 20 nuclear weapons, apparently. Right, that came out of the market. There's a whole disaster with the Trump administration and everything else. And one of the big questions there was, okay, so the Trump administration is trying to kneecap Anthropic, supposedly over safety concerns. But if China keeps producing their own AI models, how long will it be before China basically releases an open source or open way AI model that is as powerful as Mythos, and then all the rules and regulations basically go out the door? And there was a conversation between Elon Musk and the CEO of Z.ai. Elon Musk was saying that they would probably have a Mythos 5 capable model next year, and basically the CEO for Z.ai said they would have it before the end of this year. And it looks like they have dropped a new model that comes really close to Mythos 5 capabilities. And this is going to be one of the big questions in the whole AI world and rules and regulations in the United States is what happens when we create the rules and regulations around artificial intelligence and then China doesn't. Right, you got to think about this again. We talk about things like industrial policy. That was one of the big problems in the United States. We really started caring about the environment, right? We started really caring about workers' rights, and we started really caring about the environment, and we started really caring about zoning and all of these different things. And then China didn't. And we allowed our factories to move to China. So basically, it's like, look, you can build a factory in the United States, and you've got to go through this whole bureaucratic process, and we have all of these environmental laws, and we have all of these labor laws, and we have all of these onerous things. Or you can build your factory in China, produce goods there without all the rules and regulations, and then sell the products into the United States. And that's basically the environment we've been in that has led to all of our manufacturing capacity leaving the United States to go to China, right? We create these onerous rules and regulations. The companies go to some place that doesn't have the onerous rules and regulations, and then we get our asses handed to ourselves. So I do wonder right now, again, with this particular AI race, are we doing in the artificial intelligence realm basically what we did in the manufacturing realm back in 2000? Right? In order to protect the population, we destroy the capacity that we once had. And this is a big concern. That's a big concern. So anyways, coming from Reuters, China's Z.ai says new model nears Anthropic's Mythos 5 in cyber defense tests. Chinese AI startup Z.ai said on Friday its open source GLM 5.3 model had neared Anthropic's restricted Mythos 5 in identifying software vulnerabilities, bolstering the credentials of Chinese AI challenger, gaining traction among Western developers. Z.ai said GLM 5.3 scored 85.5% on CyberGem, a test on whether a model can review code, identifying security flaws, and confirmed that they are real. That was slightly higher than the 83.8 it reported for Mythos 5. The results have not been independently verified. GLM 5.3 lagged behind Mythos 5 in converting discovered flaws into working attacks. Z.ai said its model scored 54.4% in exploit bench tests of capability versus 78% for Mythos 5. So that is significantly lower. In a separate time test, Z.ai said GLM 5.3 completed 105 attack development tasks in 2 hours and 130 in 6 hours. Mythos 5 completed 181 and 247 tasks respectively. Z.ai said it would release GLM 5.3 publicly in about 2 weeks after completing security assessments and strengthening its safeguards. Its most sensitive cybersecurity functions would be available only to verified users through a trusted access program, it said. It wrote in a Friday X post that initial model access will be shared with a select group of launch partners, which will later be expanded. Quote, through a consistent and responsible process, echoing the language of Anthropic's Project Glasswing limited access scheme for Mythos. Quote, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time a Chinese lab is publicly justifying a delayed open release of model weights with safety considerations, said Gabriel Wagner, an AI governance researcher. This shows that open weight risk management practices in China are becoming more sophisticated. The company said it had added several layers of protection to GLM 5.3, including systems to screen risky requests, monitor the model's work, and train it to reject malicious tasks. It said these were designed to distinguish harmful activity from legitimate uses, such as fixing bugs, teaching cybersecurity, or authorized security testing. So I do think this is going to be kind of interesting in the whole AI arms race. Like when does designing and deploying guardrails become more valuable than the model itself? So there's this whole discussion about how valuable is the frontier model component in AI systems compared to all the other components. So there's a big argument right now that harnesses are actually the most valuable component of AI systems and not actually the models at this point in time. Well, one of the things you look at with Mythos 5, or I guess actually you should say Fable 5. So Fable 5 is Mythos 5 with guardrails. One of the interesting things is that when Hugging Face was attacked by OpenAI, right? So OpenAI committed felonies against Hugging Face. And so Hugging Face was trying to shut down those felonious attacks from OpenAI. Initially, apparently they tried to use Fable 5. The issue was Fable 5's guardrails were so strict that it would not answer, it would not do the tasks they needed it to do, because in order to prevent a malicious attack, it kind of looked like you were asking about malicious attacks, and so its guardrails put up flags and said you couldn't do this. Right? One of the interesting things, they talked about using Z.ai's model in order to stop the attack that was coming from OpenAI. So they literally tried to use Fable 5. They tried to use Anthropic in the beginning, and then they had to go over to Z.ai to actually get some work accomplished, right? So I think what's going to be kind of interesting out of these Chinese models as we go forward is simply what if things like they can simply design better guardrail systems? What if they can design more effective guardrail systems to basically be able to get the job done? I think about this with filters back in the day. So email, back when email was pretty cool and new and cool in the corporate world. One of the problems you had was filtering so that people didn't say inappropriate things in their emails. And so initially, I mean, they were really blunt tools. Like it was literally, right? It was basically regex for if you see anything that looks like a swear word, if you see anything that looks like a racial epithet, whatever, right? That basically that got flagged. And you ran into weird issues like beaver, right? If you're like, hey, I need the installer to go to Beaver Dam Road, right? Pretty innocuous, pretty normal. Here's the thing, there can be some sexual connotation to beaver. And this whole beaver thing was real. I was there for the beaver disaster. It was like 2002. Anyway, oh, it's so fucking bad. Anyways, yeah. So you put this explicit content filter on emails and messaging or whatever else, and all of a sudden, all of your customers who happen to live on Beaver Dam Road are never going to hear from your company again because things get flagged. That was a problem. We improved systems. Now it shouldn't be nearly so bad. I think one of the interesting things when we think about guardrails in the AI world is I think we're at the beaver phase of these guardrails where they're putting it in order to try to solve problems, prevent things from happening, but they are too blunt of tools. It would be kind of curious to see if China moves forward. Could they actually create more effective guardrail systems to actually block what theoretically should be blocked and allow what theoretically should be allowed? And would that be a product differentiator, right? Look, don't just go to the Chinese models because they're free or open source or whatever else. Go to them because they're guardrails. Do what the hell the guardrails are supposed to do. Kind of an interesting thing to consider there. Let's see here. Z.ai framed the launch as a challenge to the restricted access model represented by Mythos. It argued that advanced cyber defense tools should be available to developers of open source software and smaller security teams rather than being controlled by a limited number of closed model providers. And that's going to be one of the big arguments going on between, the Chinese AI stack and the American AI stack, right? The American AI stack, it's all about, again, this is so fucked up. The American AI stack is all about authority. Your betters understand the world more than you do. Therefore, they will allow you to do certain things with the technology. Right? And this is, you listen to Dario, you listen to Sam, you listen to the Trump administration, right? Your betters know best. You will be granted access to these things. And if we hear any smartness out of your mouth, we can pull everything back. AI is not a right. Again, and think about this in the modern world of the United States, in the modern political context in the United States. We are informed that artificial intelligence is the future. Whoever controls artificial intelligence controls the future. And then basically we were told with the rules and regulations, the laws and everything else is that artificial intelligence isn't a right. Right? So basically, the future, your children's futures, your family's futures in the United States, it's not a right. If you do things the way the authority figures think is appropriate, you will be granted the ability to move into the future. If any of them dislike what you're doing, your ability to move into the future, that access is shut off. That is literally the American way in 2026. And what's hilarious is the Chinese way in 2026 is everybody should have access to this tool. This is an incredibly powerful tool that can change a lot of people's lives and make the world better. And basically, access to this tool should be as widely distributed as possible. God. Oh, I hate this time period so much. It said it would begin a quote open source shield initiative to audit select open source projects, provide model access for defensive work, and add code auditing functions to its Z code programming product. Quote, in this spirit, Z.ai appears to be proposing a kind of project Glasswing with Chinese characteristics that sees openness as an asset rather than a drawback. The American CEOs are trying to shut down openness. The Chinese CEOs are the ones arguing for openness, said Wagner, referring to the consortium of Western companies with access to Mythos. So yes, this is what is going on now. It does appear that the Chinese models are getting ever closer to being Mythos level, more dangerous than 20 nuclear bombs. And they are going for openness. They are going for wide distribution. They are going for guardrails where they exist to a point that actually makes sense versus Americans' closed source model of you will be told how you should use AI. And yeah, it'll be curious where this goes in the future. I do also think what's interesting. One of the things I've been arguing for a while is I think these LLMs are basically getting to the end of their product development. Not fully their end. I think every year there'll be a 5% improvement or whatever else. But basically, the major gains for these large models, I think, we're kind of coming to an end. And so one of the interesting things too, is you think about this with China competing with the United States, is it if this is a race that goes infinitum, it has no end, then if China is always 6 months behind the United States, then they're going to quote unquote always be 6 months behind the United States. What's interesting though is that if this race basically has an end, or it more or less has an end, then they might be 6 months behind us now, but when we get to that end, or when we have to slow down, they're going to be getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer naturally. At some point, they're going to go from 6 months behind us, basically, to being where we are. Because again, if there is an end to the race, right? If there's an end to the race, right? At a certain point, the winner of the race and the loser of the race are both at the finish line because there's an end. Right? So think about this. If AI is that kind of race, where more or less there is a finish line for basically how powerful these models can be at the end of the day, then even if China is theoretically 6 months behind us now, at some point they're going to be at the finish line just like we are. So they're going to have AI that's more dangerous than 20 nuclear weapons, and they're going to be distributing that to the world while we clutch our pearls and demand more rules and regulations. Again, really think about this for a second, right? OpenAI is excited about what they call reverse federalism. They want California to crack down on frontier AI labs to add more bureaucracy and such. We've heard from Dario. Dario just goes on infinitum about how all these AI models, these AI companies should be kneecapped because they're so dangerous. And so think about that, right? The American AI stack, the leaders of the American AI stack are demanding bureaucratic morass at the exact same time the Chinese AI stack is going at, 500 miles an hour. Explain to me how we win. Explain to me how we win this particular race. I don't know. Put your thoughts. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.